This is the 4K pixel shifting projector from BenQ, the TK810. Now, this isn't a perfect projector, but it does do a lot of things really, really well. Let's take a closer look. This is the TK810, and it's designed to be the projector probably for most people. You know, where you've got a house where you haven't got a dedicated cinema room. The remote control is okay, it's not backlit, but it feels good in the hand, and you do get a wireless dongle that comes with it, which means that wireless is not built in as standard to the projector. But the projector itself is a great one for all. It looks good with the black front and the rest of it being white, and it's very simple and classic BenQ in its design. All of the controls on the top are very simple to read and to obviously use, and you've got the focus and zoom, pull down, flap, which you can then hide away once you've set it. On the back of the projector are pretty much all the ports you're going to need. There's two HDMI 2.2s. There's two USB ports. One of these can power a Fire Stick, the other can be used as a media reader. Bear in mind though, if you have got that wireless dongle plugged in, then you will lose one of these ports. You've also got an RS232 port, which is nice to see. Fan noise is obviously a consideration. Now, on their literature they measure it at 32 decibels in eco mode, however in normal mode I had it at around 40 decibels, which again is not too bad, it is pretty quiet. Now, the first thing, my friends, to mention is please don't judge me on the alignment on my screen. I am so limited for space in my studio at the moment. I've got two 55-inch TVs which I'm reviewing, and so therefore I'm a little bit out of position. I couldn't quite get the projector far enough back to fill my screen. To give you an indication of throw ratios, it's 1.48 to 1.62, which gives you 100 inches at exactly 3.29 meters. So with your room, that's how you can judge it. Now, the interface that you can see here is really good. It's very clear. You've got your wireless projection mode for your phone or your Android device and your PC at the top. You've got your connections underneath, your HDMI and your USB, and then you've got your recent apps, and then you've got all of your different settings and controls along the bottom. As I think I've said on every single projector review that I've done, I would use a separate sound source. There is a 5-watt what they call chamber speaker built in, but it delivers very average sound quality. It's fine if you're just going to be using it for occasional use, for presentations, that type of thing, but you cannot really watch a movie with this settings. However, saying that, there are different modes and different settings, as you can see, that you can change the audio to. But guys, if you are serious about getting a projector, then get a sound system as well, because you'll regret it otherwise. Now, I found in recent years BenQ have the best preset picture settings of any manufacturer. The one for this projector which I think is right is cinema. It's absolutely perfect almost for any use. Certainly living room is too bright, bright is even brighter, so therefore just ridiculous. Sports mode is okay, but really not watchable for anything else, and so therefore if you want a picture setting that is just right for most uses, go for cinema. You can obviously go into the user mode and change things if you want to. Other things which are positive about this projector are automatic keystone correction. That's where it does the angle automatically based on the positioning, but you will have to have this central to your screen. It is literally just vertical keystone, not horizontal. There is 3D support as well, but that does scale it down to 1080p, so you won't get 3D at 4K, and also there's HDR10 support. Now, that is not true HDR, but it is HDR10 support. You can go in obviously and check your light timer, the lamp life at any point, and you can reset that if you need to. Those of you that like going in and playing with more of the control, you can go into the advanced settings and check out the different formats of HDMI, the HDMI equalizer, and also things like the grid to line things up better than I've done. At the beginning of the video I mentioned that this projector is good where there's ambient light coming into the room, and as you can see this is a perfectly bright office that I'm in, my studio, and you can see it delivers a reasonable picture. Now, I'm not saying that this is a great picture by any stretch of the imagination, but it is there, it's definitely watchable, and that's with the blind wide open. If I now shut the blind, so we're still during the day but I'm going to shut the blind, it's not perfectly black, but you can see suddenly the picture improves. It becomes a lot more cinematic and that black level gets better. Speaking of black level, I'm going to show you how this compares to something which has perfect black levels in a second, and that's an OLED TV. And although there's a massive difference, you'll be surprised, I think, when you see it. Now in reality, I'm seeing this live in the flesh, slightly darker and slightly better quality than what you're seeing it on whatever device you're watching this on, because my camera will automatically adjust things like ISO and aperture to make this slightly brighter. So it definitely looks better in reality and you'll get a more cinematic experience. Certainly one feature which is very good is the clarity and the sharpness. It really does deliver a very, very crisp image. And in this next section here, you can see with the trees and the grass and the sky, it really does deal with the exposure very well also. So this is a great, great all-rounder. However, if you have got a room which is dark most of the time or a dedicated cinema room, then go for something like the BenQ HT3550 or the W2700 in the UK, because that deals with the darker levels a hell of a lot better. Now let me show you the ultimate test of a projector. This is it against an OLED TV. So obviously I don't need to tell you which one is the OLED and which one is the projector. The difference is obviously stark. But in a lot of these clips I don't think it's as bad as what I thought it was going to be. Certainly in that one it doesn't look brilliant, but this next one for instance, I think it's reasonably good. If you look at the detail in what you're getting, it's not too bad. And again here, it's not obviously as good because the blacks on the OLED are perfect blacks, but it's reasonable, and so therefore I don't think this does a terrible job. Now this projector is called a smart projector for a number of reasons. One, you can wirelessly project your iOS or Android or even your PC to the projector, and that's done very, very easily just by following the links up above. Here for instance I'm going to hook up my iPhone, so I go into the wireless projection for iOS, go to my AirPlay on my phone and it automatically finds it. So then you can scroll through websites, you can cast video and do those things. No problem at all, works really well with all three types of devices. Now one of the other features in this projector is the Aptoide store, which is a little bit like an app store for Android devices. However, over the years it has become pretty much defunct. On the face of it, you can download apps like YouTube, Netflix, Prime Video, even things like Plex and Disney Plus. However, in reality, I found them all to be really glitchy. They either didn't work at all or I had problems with them. There's even illegal applications on here like Mobdro and Freeflix, although they didn't even download in the first place. So guys, do not rely on this type of interface. Just get yourself a Fire Stick or an Apple TV or something similar. When I did play a YouTube video, it just froze and it was rubbish. But guys, you don't buy this projector for that bit of software. This projector is ideal if you're in a lighter room, if it's your first probably projector for 4K and you want that cinematic experience. It's definitely recommended and is one that you should consider. Thank you so much for watching this video as always. I do hope it's been helpful and I'll see you on the next All Things Tech review.